When is failure not an option? Skydiving. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is probably not your thing. Abraham Lincoln. Nat, everyone is allowed to jump out of a plane without a working parachute once in their lives. There is simply no evidence from systematic double-blind randomized trials that parachutes are an effective remedy to death and injury caused by striking the ground after falling out of planes at typical flight altitudes. Did you know that 1 in every 5 don't even make it to the ground? Those multiple choice questions that some teachers put in Kahoots where all of the answers are correct. Time runs out, you lose. It fucking sucks when your entire class gets it right and it's all green and then it's just you alone with the red screen. Yeah, that was correct, but what's the most correct? When you're Gene Kranz but have 3 astronauts stuck in space. This is what I thought of when writing the post lol. When you're Gene Kranz's wife making his vest. A personal story, I had just started a new IT job back in 2017, working for my boss from a previous job. The CEO/owner of that company owned several other small businesses that I didn't work for. On my way home one day my boss calls me King Cobra. The CEO's biggest company just got hit by ransomware and he needs your help. I'm on a plane to Phoenix, AZ the next morning. I find out that every server, even backups, had been encrypted. If I didn't succeed, hundreds of people would lose their jobs and the company would fold. Failure was not an option. Long story short, it took 3 days, gallons of coffee and Red Bull, to get everything up and running. After that, the CEO asked me to join that company as their lead IT person and I accepted. Yeah, you totally planted the encryption for company clout. Cool. That's awesome. Congrats. Dang, that sounds like movie crap. So every server and all backups are encrypted. How exactly did you recover it? Wait for the feds to dig up the encryption key. Interested in hearing more of this tale? Edit. Ahahaha, read further and found you paid the ransom. So what exactly was it in this story in which failure was not an option? Whoa, congratulations. Wait, was this the Wanakeri ransomware? Why am I getting a Mr. Robot reference XD? I was backpacking in Alaska. I was being careless and had gotten turned around and lost the trail. Not a huge deal, I'm pretty good at orienteering and I had a pretty good handle on where I was. Had plenty of food and water was everywhere. I decided to freak the fuck out though before I sat down and rationally thought that out. The world is a big place when you're all alone in the wilderness. Once I calmed down I came to the decision that I had no choice but to get my shit together and keep going or die. Worked out which way I needed to travel to hit some roads and started out. Took a couple days and working through a bunch of self-doubt, but I eventually found a road and made my way to civilization. Wow, that's amazing and kinda scary at the same time. Glad you found your way out of there eventually and can tell an awesome story. How long before you could grab a hitch? Where were you, out of curiosity? That's scary and awesome AF. I think a lot of people underestimate the vast size of Alaska. Glad you kept your wits and made it out alive. Oh man, you reminded me of my oh shit moment. Was learning to fly a plane and got my solo license, which is just basically I have 20 hours experience in a plane and my instructor, some random guy I paid $8/hour to teach me, watched me do a few touch and goes and he wrote in my logbook okay to solo. So I booked time in a Cessna 172. I drive to the airport, huge windstorm. I would later find out it was one of the biggest windstorms in like a decade. Technically I'm not supposed to fly in 5 knots crosswind, but I'm a young stupid person like Marty McFly who does stupid things because he is worried about being called a chicken. So I taxi out and take off. Holy motherfucking god. I was getting tossed around like my plane was made of paper. I was full ailerons several times just to keep it level. I was beyond panicked. But the thing about flying is, no one can help you. I could get on the radio and say Mayday, but what are they going to do? So I used up probably my next 10 years of stored up focus to get my shit together and land the plane. Managed to get it down with an okay landing. Probably 10% me and 90% luck. I decided flying is not for me. Never flown since. That was 25 years ago. Attempted murder. If you shoot the king, you better kill him. Landing a plane. A good landing is one that you can walk away from. A great landing is one where they can reuse the plane afterwards. If you define success as the plane at some point ending up on the ground, every plane ever has landed successfully. Takeoffs are optional, landings are mandatory. When typing sentences on Reddit. One typo and you're dead. You skipped the last period like a high school senior who's done with it all. OT, thank God. I wish this were true. Witness all the front page posts that have typos and tens of thousands of upvotes. I swear, it is as if the typo makes more people notice the post and then upvote in spite of it. Don't forget the disclaimer covering every possible way anyone could take whatever you have to say. Haha. How you gonna be putting a period after a relative clause acting like it is a complete sentence? There are rules, dude. Your asterisk. I was diagnosed with cancer back in 2018, decided that I'd fight it tooth and nail with everything I had. That didn't last very long. Man, it was tiring. I gave it my all every single day, and eventually I just got so exhausted of it that I decided I was just gonna stop. It was so emotionally, physically, and mentally tiring, so I snapped and decided that I was just gonna stop trying. It wasn't a suicidal kind of thing, I didn't want to die, but I wanted to just stop. Stop moving, stop caring, stop everything. Well, despite that, stuff kept going. Life kept on proceeding as normal. Treatment still persisted. The people around me still kept living their lives. The hospitals kept working, the children still went to Disneyland, adults kept going to work every day, the world just kept on spinning. Time kept moving forward and giving up wasn't going to stop that. That's when it really hit me that this wasn't something I could just quit. Even if I wanted to, giving up wouldn't make a single difference in how I felt, and it certainly wasn't going to find me peace. It was actually surprisingly comforting. Knowing that even when I hit my very lowest points, life would keep on pushing me forward, and I'd still be making some sort of progress. I learned that day not to push through my chemotherapy with everything I had, but to instead spend my time relaxing and enjoying what I had around me. I made friends with the nurses, went on frequent walks, and valued the fact that I still had my life, cause I might not have been able to keep it for long. I accepted my reality for what it was and focused my energy on improving it in small ways. I finished treatment later that year, and even though I have terrible days, I've never considered failure an option. I can't give up just as much as gravity simply can't cease working, or the Earth simply can't cease orbiting the Sunday. It is just not on the menu. When giving up no longer becomes an option, you start immediately thinking of other ways to press forward. You start making new plans to keep going through life. You just do. It is like magic. So to answer the question, failure, giving up is not an option for life, for me. Congrats to you. I hope you are well. I have a long ass quote I think you'll appreciate. She told herself that she could endure. When all was well, you assumed that to suffer such a staggering blow would break you, but when such ills actually befell you, you somehow persevered. You didn't survive to prove something to anyone, you didn't press on simply because you wished to, and you didn't endure because of what the preacher in church said. You survive because deep inside everyone has the simple indefatigable need to press on, whatever the costs. And even if so much was stripped away that you no longer recognized yourself, the thing left was the part of you that you never understood, that you always underestimated, that you were always afraid to look at. You were afraid you'd need it one day and it would not be there for you, but in fact was the only thing that could not be taken away. Heavy black heart. What YouTube channel did you unsubscribe from after being subscribed to them for a long time? What is it that made you unsubscribe after so long? Epic Mealtime. Got annoying real quick. Don't want more bacon? Epic Mealtime is still around? Damn. It was never the same after Muscle's glasses left. EMT was great growing up until they started doing the do-it-at-home stuff. The giant stuffed pig was probably the last one I really watched, however their debut, the fast food pizza, was actually awesome. BuzzFeed is the one that pops to mind. Years ago their quirky videos were easy to watch and mildly funny, nowadays their videos are annoying and reachy with little comedic or educational value. I have to confess, during middle school, I was obsessed with their videos of people trying food from different countries. After the Try Guys left to start their own business, it was pointless. Other than Unsolved. I do love Ryan and Shane. Yeah, BuzzFeed sucks now. I'd still recommend BuzzFeed Unsolved, they're still making great videos. In the same vein, I really liked the Ladylike series until Safiya left. I'm so glad she's continued with her own account. That React channel. Unsubbed after they tried to copyright React. Unsubscribed when I realized I only enjoyed the YouTubers React. I cared about the YouTubers and not the React content. Eugenia Cooney. I just can't watch her crash and burn with her health. It is so sad. I followed her on Twitter. If you are easily upset by stuff like that, don't. Hundreds of people are so worried for her and she often calls them haters and says everyone is against her in response as well. I only found out about her from the Shane Dawson vid. I didn't sub but check in every so often. Her most recent video is terrifying. Horrible to watch someone go from getting better to hitting rock bottom. And there really doesn't look like any hope is there for her with an apparently enabling mother. Worst one in this thread TBH. She looks like she is about to pass away soon. Social media attention is enabling her delusion even more. I don't think she believes the comments telling her to get help. Sweats in 2016 Leafy fan. I was super into Alex Day and Tom Milsom as a teen. I found them attractive and fascinating and I got super obsessed / devoted to them, bought all their merch and CDs and had watched all their videos dozens of times. When I heard about all the allegations it totally crushed me because I'd convinced myself that I actually knew them. It was my first big wake-up call that online personas are very accurate, but it felt like a death to a part of my youth at the time. I feel that. I remember liking Charlie Sokol but growing up makes you realize these people are just personas, not personal. The allegations on Alex slapped me in the face too. Smosh, most of their things became old immo, and I was disappointed when Anthony left. I've actually gotten back into Smosh a tiny bit thanks to the Try Not to Laugh series. Some of the bits can be kinda cringy, but I do find that series to be pretty damn funny, especially when they have Gus Johnson on. Smosh was the she-idiot in middle school and early high school. I honestly think it just went downhill because they matured and stopped being tapped into that boyish humor. Or at least stopped having fresh takes on it, I guess. Those react videos were fun to watch, then they had to go and get all greedy and whatnot. Their trademark fiasco was the deal breaker for me as well. I think they genuinely just ran out of interesting things to react to too. And then it came out that one of the Fine brothers was part of the whole creepy pedophile puppet videos with Shane Dawson. The Fine brothers. They got greedy hard. Everyone unsubscribed hard. Me too. They tried to claim all react videos, but then backed down. Then, they completely removed that. Matthias, his content went from original, fun and engaging and something he clearly worked hard on, to literal clickbait unboxing videos. That and his attitude became very corporate and cold, especially regarding how he sees his fans. It is very much I am the creator and you are my audience, nothing more. Stay away from me. End number X200B, that and calling anyone who uses adblock to watch his videos thieves. He also has basically started just collecting channels. I liked when his channel was Matthias and he also had the Matt Anda channel. Haven't watched since they moved into the office and changed the overall vlog channel to Battle Universe. So, years. Man, I used to love his skits with Jowl Thief and his vlogs with Amanda, but ever since they moved to doing Team Edge Stiff and literally turned his channel into unboxing videos, that was kind of the end for me. The creator/audience thing I kind of get. I have friends that are mid-sized content creators, they make a living off of it, and sometimes people who follow them can be very suffocating, and don't really take hints well, and don't understand boundaries. I've been there a couple times when they've been recognized, and I can see the kind of stuff that people say at them on Twitter, and I know I'd never be able to handle all that kind of shit. Superwoman Lily Singh, her content it just went down cause it was not funny and just so forced. Or maybe my humor just changed, but either way it is so bad. Yes, that's true. I think it is both tbh. Our humor has changed, a lot. But her video quality isn't that great as well. OMG, finally scrolled down enough to see her. I looked up to her as a child, but most probably because she got other projects other than YouTube, that's why her content went down. Saw her in the movie Bad Moms Don't Hate Her though, times just change. For me it was Dan Plan after Steven left. Dude. When I woke up and I saw that on my recommended, my heart dropped. I kept thinking for months it was a prank, but it wasn't. Pensive face. Gosh, Onajan, I used to watch his crap when I was 14 and dumb, then started to hate him and moved on. Thing is, I forgot to unsubscribe and only did it some 2 years ago. It feels very disgusting to have been subbed to his channel for so long. The man is absolute human garbage and I wish I had unsubbed earlier. Yes, I was the same. I used to think when he did his cutter rants and stuff he was speaking to me and he was making sense. Looking back I realized it was just my dumb teeny bopper crush on him. Thank God that didn't last long. Had to unsubscribe from Cryotic recently after hearing how he groomed minors. Used to watch his videos all the time through middle and high school with my best friend, and even now into college for comfort, and realized he posted a video for the first time in months. It was super vague and rambly, where he didn't actually address anything. Looked into it a bit further and found out there's a ton of women who were groomed by him as teens. Can't watch any of his videos anymore without thinking of how horribly he treated them. Oh wow, I had no idea about Cry, what a dirtbag. I used to watch his videos religiously when I was a teen. I'm glad everything about him was brought to light. I think he ended up having a mental breakdown on a live stream and admitted to everything in full. Dude used to be my favorite back in the day, and I only found out about all that because I went back to start watching him again since his style of video was never really cringy or annoying. It was genuinely upsetting to see, but I'm glad it all came out. I hope he never finds success on YouTube again, but also gets the mental health help he needs before he hurts other people. Zola, Tanya Burr, Ingrid Nilsson, and the like. I got sick of all the look at how much money I can spend, this $50 lipstick is great, use my code for 10% off bullshit when their entire demographic was teenagers who couldn't afford anything except drugstore makeup. And then they'd be like, oh no, I have anxiety so I'm relatable. Guys, I totally understand how you feel, like nah sorry. Same, I unsubbed a few years ago to Zola, Tanya, Jim, Joe Sugg, Alfie, Marcus Butler, Casper, etc. Because they stopped appealing to me as I got older, and it is also mind-blowing to see what happened to them, like Marcus changed a lot, Jim and Tanya got divorced, everyone kinda stopped posting videos, it is kinda sad actually. Zola is so fucking uninteresting, it amazes me she ever succeeded. Age 3. It is no longer comedy but just drama and whining. Ethan from 5 years ago would totally make an episode about Ethan today being another YouTube douchebag. Also maybe it's just me, but Ethan will spend months ripping people and then turn around and have them on the podcast and treat them as if they've been friends for years. Maybe it's just good business, but it comes off really two-faced. Happy face, I hate to admit it, but this is so true. All they talk about now is drama and how Ethan wipes. The number of YouTubers who don't seem to understand that I don't give a flying fuck about your YouTube drama is quite high. I mean, I guess enough people care about it for them to keep going, but yet, I'm not one of them. I watch YouTube videos for entertaining/informative videos. And while I don't mind the occasional update about what YouTube is doing if it is interesting, if that's all your channel consists of, I do not care. If YouTube isn't viable for you, then host somewhere else, or expand your revenue stream outside of it, or whatever else. I don't really care, but if you are going to stay and want me to click on you, then make some good content. Imagine walking into a restaurant and the owner just comes up to you and rants for 20 minutes about how bad the industry is when all you want to do is order dinner. That podcast pretty much killed the channel. I was subscribed to Channel Awesome for years, but then when I discovered that there were movie reviewers that didn't sound like their balls were constantly being pinched and every other bit wasn't a skit, I left for greener pastures. Those skits are so painfully unfunny too. I mean, I haven't watched his channel in 3 years, but I'm gonna assume he is still doing the unfunny skit thing. The king of random just wasn't the same once Grant basically stopped participating, and now is way worse after he died. I unsubscribed a few years ago when everything became about liquid nitrogen. TBF, the cool stuff I originally subbed for, like the HHO generator, YouTube told him he can't do anymore because it is dangerous or something. Super sad he died though. That channel was one of better science experiment ones for a while. They went from actual backyard science and engineering to arts and crafts. Dan TDM, Preston Plays, Unspeakable Gaming, Lazarbeam, Musilk, Just Dustin, Popular Mose. I just got bored of them, especially Lazar, Dustin, and Musilk. Their vids were just more and more of the same things with slight changes. Popular MMOS went downhill, not an a this sucks but more of a how much happened when I was gone. And what happened was sad. The TF2 community really ostracized Musilk. He started off pretty good, but it became clear after Overwatch and then even more so his move to Fortnite that he was in the business for whatever would make the kids happy and pull in views, not for love of the craft. The community just had it with him when we returned to TF2 for a video after one of the voice actors died, and wasn't very respectful at all to the game that he started off on. Unspeakable is just unspeakable. He clickbaits and steals content now.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.